Hello and welcome to Centrist Politics. Today is November 1st, 2024, 4 days away, or actually less than that, from the next US Senate elections. Now, with the current composition being so narrow, 51 to 49, and this election being so close, I thought it'd be fun to make a final prediction video for how I believe each state will vote. So, I'll just skim very quickly through this. There are 34 seats up for grabs in total. So let's just get started. So first off, all of the safe states. So these are the states like Washington, California, New York, Vermont, and Maine are both run by independent senators. So Bernie Sanders in Vermont and Angus King in Maine will both win re-election by very big margins. All of the New England states, even the state of New Jersey, Andy Kim will become the first Korean American senator there, which is very interesting. The state of Maryland, you know what? I'll actually get to that one later. For now, the state of Delaware and even the state of Virginia, where Tim Kaine is favored to win against Hunk Howe by a fairly substantial margin. The polls are not particularly close. They also are winning it by 10 plus. Even the state of Minnesota, safe, and I think that's pretty much it. You can make the case for either New Mexico and Maryland, also both going safe, but for now I'll leave them as likely. So the betting markets, what do they have it as? Okay, 92% chance of Alistair Brooks winning and 8% Larry Hogan. And in New Mexico, it's 94-6. So pretty big margins, honestly, but I don't feel like qualifying them as safe just quite yet. Even though this is my last prediction, they will probably both win by. I mean, actually, Maryland will probably go blue. I'm not gonna lie. This Harris's performance in this state will probably carry Alistair Brooks to a 10 plus victory fairly easily. It's still gonna be around 15 though. Like, expect this race to be a lot closer than usual. And I think those are all of the safe states for the Dems, which is 41. Now it's time for the Republicans. So these are the states like North Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska's special race, but not its regular one. Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, and just these states. And we have West Virginia flipping, which is the first official flip of this map. Jim Justice will beat the Democratic nominee, I forgot his name, and succeed Joe Manchin as the next U.S. senator from West Virginia. So there we go. Even the state of Utah, Don Curtis will probably win there by like an insane margin. So yeah, there we go. All of the safe red states and all of the safe blue states. Now that I have Hawaii filled out. So there we go. All of the safe states, and now it's time for the likely states. So likely states we have. Let's think. Montana first, which is surprising given that Jon Tester is a current incumbent sitting U.S. senator with fairly high approval ratings, but all the polls show him getting like pretty decimated. It's not looking very good for him. Even the betting markets have sifted against his favor, 86-14. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Tim C is probably gonna win this race. I mean, yeah, there's nothing they can really do about it now. He caught momentum fairly late on, but it's carried over, and I do think that Jon Tester will go down this November. And now the states of Texas and Florida, which already brings the Republicans to 50, which is very surprising. So Texas and Florida both run by kind of this mediocre incumbents. Like, they aren't that good. I mean, you could even argue that Ted Cruz is a very poor incumbent. Like, he's very poor candidate quality. And Colin Allred is a fairly strong challenger, but Texas is partisan lean, and the fact that this is a presidential year is why I believe the state will still go likely, but it will only be by around 5 or 6 points if I had to guess. It will still be fairly close. And Florida probably closer to tennis, and there we go. Sam Brown is definitely not winning this race. I mean, all of the polling shows him getting pretty badly beaten, except a recent poll which shows him leading, but all of the other ones +4, +9 this here, +4, +5. It's not looking that great for him, but I mean that like +1 poll is actually pretty positive. Yeah, lean is a lot more fair for this state. The state I was actually just gonna say likely towards is New Mexico, where the current incumbent Martin Heinrich, I believe, will probably beat the Dominici family, even though they are extremely popular within the state. I think one of their patriarchs was the former governor, but I'm not quite sure. It could be governor or senator, but he has a family name. It will not be enough. The incumbent senator will like still win there by a pretty hefty margin. Deb Fischer as the incumbent senator will probably win re-election here. The polls show it being extremely close. I mean, like in some polls, like Democratic candidate is tied, or there's even slightly leading. Although it is within a margin of error, so I would take those with a grain of salt. But this state will be very close. Actually, not very close, but around to the level of Texas. So yeah, there we go. Likely, probably within 6 to 7 points, in my humble opinion. Probably wrong on that though, but for now, and yeah, that's my Actually, not very close, but probably around to the margin of Texas, so 6 or 7 points. So yeah, this race will be close, but not extremely close. So yeah, likely is a pretty fair characterization for this, I feel. And now we are left with just 5 states: Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So just to get started, let's just do this. All 3 of these states are all going to go lean. I mean, there's almost no stopping it now. They are all have very, very consistent leads. Let's see what the polling markets say. It's probably the same. Yeah, it's the same. So Wisconsin, Baldwin leads by 1. In Michigan, Slotkin wins by almost 4 points. And in Pennsylvania, Casey leads by 2.4. So yeah, it's not looking good for the Republicans here, unless something extremely major happens, like just like a huge scandal linking all of these senators. Like these races are not going to change. Like these are all pretty much like nearly like guaranteed Democrat at this point. I mean, the Republicans, like if they get really lucky, like they could actually pick off Wisconsin. Like I could see it being red, but as of right now, I mean, it's like a Democrat just to lose. So there we go. And now we're left with just 2 states, which are Arizona and Ohio. And Arizona is very, very obviously lean because Kari Lake is very, very bad, and Ruben Gallego is actually just a fairly solid candidate all around. I think the state will actually be closer than Nevada, which is surprising given that Kari Lake is extremely unpopular there, and will likely lose more than by a margin back in 2022 when she ran for governor. But still, Arizona lean, and that brings this map to 51-48. So the Republicans have already so that brings the race to 51-48. So that means the Republicans have already So that brings the map to 48-51, which means the Republicans have already regained control of the United States Senate, taking back the majority for the first time in a fairly long while, and is a very pleasant surprise for them, but not necessarily the best result, given that they lost most of the swing states, all the swing states actually, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. But the final state that will decide whether this is But the final state that will decide whether this is a closed Congress or not is Ohio. And Ohio, as of right now, and this is going to be a switch from my last prediction, I believe it will go to the Republicans by a very tilt margin. And this is because the polls have actually shifted against his favor, I believe, slightly. Yeah, Brown only leads by 1 now. The polls are all essentially tied. Like, it's almost like even. So it's not looking particularly good for them. I mean, honestly, there is still a chance that Brown hangs on, but as of right now, I think, yeah, Moreno is ever so slightly favored, and the betting markets think the same as well. So there's that. If we go to the one in Ohio, I think there are more accurate polls here. Yeah, every single website puts it as a toss up. That's very, very interesting. So yeah, the polls have been closing, and I feel like just Trump's performance, he will likely win the state by around 10. It's enough to drag Moreno over the finish line, and he will retake the seat for the Republicans, and Brown's tenure will finally come to an end. So with that, Republicans win 52-48. In my last prediction, I had Trump winning the presidency, so J.D. Vance will win the VP slot. Here we have it. Republicans 52, Democrats 48. It will be a very, very close race overall. But Republicans have the slight advantage in my book, and I'm not very well versed on this, so this might be wrong, but this is my map. So as always, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.